We're here at Rouleur Live, and in this video we're going to be looking at the concept bikes of the show. So these are the bikes that you don't see every day. I'm here on the Ribble stand and I'm joined by Jamie, who's the head of product at Ribble. So we've got a very sparkly and aerodynamic bike in front of us. What's the story?
Over 2 years ago, we had a plan which was effectively to try and design and develop the most aerodynamic bike, and I think we've hit the mandate. It's a long process, obviously. Everything started in CFD and then followed up with wind tunnel and then real world testing. The main point behind the bike was to make sure we had the fastest bike with rider. We start with the frame and fork, analysing every single tube section through CFD before we could then go into rapid prototyping. The front of the handlebar is the one area that is always in front of the rider. Doesn't matter what angle of wind you're at. So when you've got this super clean, traditional truncated aerofoil shape, it's super clean, but the air's just flowing straight over the bar and under the bar into the rider. So we were like, what can we do to effectively create a wake for the rider to ride in? There's not a lot you can do with the shape apart from the tops, because you're limited by the traditional band mechanism of attaching a brake lever. So we come up with the direct mount brake lever system. So the levers are mounted directly to the bar through a port from the rear. And what that's allowed us to do is change the drop shape, both aerodynamically and ergonomically, without any kind of need to fit the brake lever in the traditional format. That was stage one, and then stage two was these wake generators, which are these bulges underneath. And effectively what these do is they're sitting upstream of the rider, they're creating a wake for the rider to sit in, which is effectively taking the air around the rider from basically the waist downwards.
I'm here at the Hope stand with Sam Pendred, who is the design engineer of this rather spiffy looking Hope track bike. So we're standing in front of what I presume is the mould.
Yeah.
What's the story behind it? How's it work?
So this is the mould that we were kind of in charge of the manufacturing design and getting everything set up to make these. So the original design kind of came to us, and then it's our job to look at it, see how we can make it, see what the tooling required for it is. So this is one half of the mould that we use to make the track bike. We've got about 4 or 5 different main sizes of tooling, and then you can take out certain bits of the tooling and replace them. So depending if you're doing a pursuit or if you're riding an individual event on drops, you can have different geometry, different length top tubes and things like that. So each rider for the Olympics kind of had a bespoke fit with,
yes.
They all had their numbers that were kind of matched to with all of the flexibility we have in building the final bike and in the tool as well.
So let's talk about the Hope bike for the 2020-2021 Olympics.
It's effectively the same as what Jason Kenny would have ridden, with the front end on here with the drops for the sprint events obviously, and the tri-spoke. You can see it's got all the 3D printed parts on. It's got the 3D printed dropouts front and rear, and like complex sections up there as well.
Nice. How did you kind of conceive this as a team?
Well, the design actually came to us as a proposal as, can you make this?
Yeah.
Someone had this wild design, and they'd seen what we're doing with our carbon manufacturing anyway, with like our mounted bike frames and with seat posts and handlebars and other components. There were a lot of different challenges and a lot of learning curves to what we're used to doing normally, just because of the design of it and trying to make things in a different way with all the complex curvatures.